Welcome to Perimenopause How. This video is about anemia and the types of iron that you might take to alleviate your anemia. The most popular one is called ferrous sulfate, and it's also the best, but it's also the type of iron that most women have difficulty sticking to taking. The side effects from taking ferrous sulfate are usually constipation and nausea, so it can make you feel a bit sick. Now, the advice that you will get from the leaflet that comes with it, or from the doctor, or from even a physiotherapist or your personal trainer, will be to take it with some orange juice and on an empty stomach. But to be honest, this is the way that you're going to get the most side effects from it. If you actually run into these problems, let's deal with constipation first. The best thing that you can do for constipation, first off, is to drink more water and to eat more fiber. That means roughage. So if you're doing a keto diet, you're going to perhaps run into trouble with this. So what you can do if your diet is low in fiber anyway, is to take something called psyllium husk. And this is something that bulks up your stool and makes your poo easier to pass. So that's something like fiber gel or Metamucil if you're going to buy a brand of it at a pharmacy. But you can buy just plain old psyllium husk on Amazon. It's plain and unflavored if you buy it like that, but you take it the same. You just need to mix it with some water, plenty of water. If that still doesn't work, then you can take a stool softener like Dulcolax or lactulose. These are the most gentle kinds of laxative. By the time you've done the other three things, you shouldn't really need this, but let's say, for example, you're on a very high dose of ferrous sulfate, then you could take these. That's no problem. It's more important that you keep taking the iron than having to do something like take a laxative. It's no big deal. It's better that you continue to take the iron. Anemia can be very serious, and so really this is what I'm trying to get the point across, that you're better to continue taking the iron. If you're absolutely desperate and you really just can't go, then it's the time to resort to something like senna or magnesium. These things will cause you to develop a sort of cramping pain in the gut that means you absolutely have to go. It's not a very gentle laxative. That's why we recommend the more conservative measures first. If you suffer from nausea when you're taking your iron, then take it with food. We'll come to this nearer the end, but basically there will be a slight reduction in how well you absorb the iron. But really, as long as it's ferrous sulfate, you're better off still to take it with food than not taking it at all or switching to another type of iron. When women have problems with ferrous sulfate and they come to the group and they're saying, I can't handle taking this iron, it's blocking me up, I feel sick, all the rest of it. Quite often someone comes along and they'll say, oh, take Floradix instead, or you can do it through eating good sources of iron like liver or whatever, or take Spartone or something like that. It's really not very good advice, and I'll show you for why it's not very good advice. Floradix tastes nice, but it's really a complete waste of time. Sources of food, well, perhaps you wouldn't have got run down if you were already eating a good diet, but we know what our periods are like in perimenopause, don't we? So that's why we're becoming anemic. So ferrous sulfate, I would like to advise you to carry on taking it and try and take other things or sort out your diet to enable you to continue taking it. Ferrous sulfate contains double the iron of most iron supplements, so it's better than things like ferrous gluconate or ferrous fumarate. As you can see from this simple chart here, a dose of ferrous sulfate contains 65 milligrams of iron compared to 36 and 33 of the other types, ferrous gluconate and ferrous fumarate. So In fact, it's really important to take this particular type of iron. There's a lot of myths surrounding different types of supplements of vitamins, but iron is one of the things where it's really important that you take this particular type. Ferrous sulfate is not only the strongest, it's the best absorbed. So if we look at this, and you can stop it and read it thoroughly for yourself, iron absorption from ferrous sulfate conventional release tablets was significantly higher than any of the preparations evaluated. Floridix also demonstrated relatively low iron absorption. So what this study is saying is that syrup preparations that taste nice like Floridix just really don't work well compared to ferrous sulfate. The link for this particular study is given on this slide. A chart also comes in this particular study that shows the difference between ferrous sulfate and the other forms, ferrous gluconate, ferrous fumarate, various different types. Also shows that the ferrous sulfate tablet once again wins. This advice is taken from the British National Health Service website, and it says ferrous sulfate works best when taken on an empty stomach. However, if it gives you stomachache, try taking it with food. So it's not just me that has made this up. You know, it really is the best advice. So basically, when we're talking about high fiber snacks, take it with something like that, like a small bowl of shredded wheat or bran flakes, something that's really going to shield your stomach from the effects of it. And that will also give you the roughage that you need to stop you getting constipated. So really what I found was if I took my iron with a bowl of shredded wheat, all was well, and I had good poops, no problem. The only side effect you can't really eliminate is this one, which is the black poo. Don't worry, it's completely normal, nothing to worry about. It doesn't look particularly pleasant, but this is the only side effect you can't eliminate. Really, it's a sign that it's working, so don't worry. Okay, that's the end of the presentation. If you found it useful, then like the video and subscribe and all that YouTube jazz. Thanks for watching.